in a happy nation.
Going on?
Happy.
This straight
What's
earache,
up?
my earbud too loud. Fuck.
It's fucking good.
What's up,
Yo,
brother? What's up, gangster? What up, cuz? What up, cuz?
What up, gangster?
You should stop saying this shit. Right?
Ah,
Feeling good?
happy Monday, hey?
Yeah, yeah. What have you been up to today, boss? You been slacking? Huh?
I don't know.
You
I
got,
just picked up
what are
this
you?
from Gary Hi-Fi, I think it was. Anton, I don't know
fuck
if you know
you.
what this is. It's
Fuck
it's a
you.
iPad.
Just show Anton again. Show him again.
Have
This is
you
what he
seen one
could have.
before?
This is what he could
Uh,
have had if he was partying in Khaosan Road.
a little pen inside.
Fuck. Come here.
Yep. Remember this feeling, Anton. Remember it.
I just
I
put so
will. I am
shit.
remembering it.
Store
I
it.
hate losing, bro. I hate losing.
You lost, motherfucker.
It's
You
not even the
lost.
fact that it's not even the iPad that hurts the most, bro. It's losing.
Luke sent me a call. So, all right. So you closed this guy. You just reckon you could have done it better, maybe.
I think just a problem, or yeah, I think just like I think I did all right. Like I don't know if I'm being a harsh critic, but I definitely think I could have got better answers and not settled for some answers that I got.
Okay. Cool.
Nonetheless, I was pretty
This
confident.
meeting
Close.
Yeah.
is being recorded.
How are you, mate? That makes sense, man. And like, I know you said you've done some online coaching. Is it ultimately doing online coaching full time? Is it trying to balance it with in-person coaching?
I mean, obviously, I'd like to go more online. That's obviously, I'm assuming, what every goal for a PT is to be able to fully do it online. But still being able to do the face-to-face would also like still be just as good. But yeah, in terms of just building it online, that's part of the main focus. That's not what I want.
Yeah, totally cool. And just remind me, like, what does it currently look like for you with the online clients, mixing that with the in-person?
Straight up, like straight away, I'd be like, oh yeah, for sure. I know you said like obviously every person wants to be online eventually, but why is that for you? What's like why though? Like why for you specifically?
Nice. At the moment, how's it currently going?
It's pretty good. So, like, in person, I'm getting about a week. It's about 20 sessions face-to-face. And then I've got currently 11 online clients, which I spend pretty much all my Monday mornings. I spend like doing all that stuff, like updating the programs, check-ins, going over all the stuff with them.
Yeah, yeah. And with those, I know you said yesterday, I think you said it was like a plateau you felt recently.
Yeah, so just like I'm not losing clients, but I'm not gaining. Like I am gaining clients, but not as quick as I want.
Okay. And what do you feel like the biggest bottleneck there is? Do you feel when it comes to like attracting more clients?
It's just not them not knowing who I am. I haven't got my name out there. Trying to get better with social media. That's why I said like yesterday, trying to get better with that. And just sort of
Yeah. So I said him
I think
yesterday.
that's pretty much the main.
Yeah, that's fine. So even there though, I'd be like, okay, but what is your current strategy?
Yeah.
And by the way, if you covered it on the triage, just let me know. But this is all I can see. So
Yeah.
if not, like, okay, so what is your current strategy to get more clients? Because
Yeah.
like, yes, he's saying he's admitting that people don't know him and that he needs to change that. But he hasn't admitted that the way he's doing isn't optimal. Now, we can tell in his energy that he knows that, but we want to get him to say it out loud again.
And how do you ask it? Because I hate asking the question, or do you feel like you need to make a few small tweaks? I just don't like the way I hate when I ask it. It's just like,
Why do you hate it?
I don't know. I feel uncomfortable asking it because it's like in my head a lot of the time, they're like, yeah, I need to make fucking changes. So I feel like it's such a, when I ask it, I feel as though this is such an obvious question.
Okay. If you feel like it's an obvious question, because like not everyone it will feel like an obvious question, it's a really good question to use, especially if they're not really admitting that the way they're doing it isn't good. But if it's like this guy and you feel like it would be an obvious place to ask it, then just go, okay, and so what is your current strategy to get online clients? And he's like, oh, I don't really have one. That's part of the issue. You're like, okay, gotcha. I guess like if you were to like summarize what are you doing at the moment? Are you posting? You're posting. Okay, how often are you posting? This, that. And then you can just be like, okay, interesting. So if they're really like, you can tell that, they're saying, hey, I know I don't know what I'm doing. And you feel like it's an obvious question, that's fine. But even just doing that, where you're really analyzing it and you're getting them to say out loud, yeah, I'm doing this. And you're like, interesting. It seeds doubt. It's going to seed doubt in their mind. I had so I actually bought a fitness coach today. I just invested $3,000 for 12 weeks with this guy called Brody Casa. I don't know if you guys know him, but because I just like, I need to get on top of it. Like I want to I'm not fat, but I want to get optimal. And when he was asking me, because he's done NEPQ and stuff, but it was just a normal conversation. And he was asking me questions about, you know, what I'm doing at the moment, like what I'm training, and even me just explaining it. And as I'm saying it out loud, I'm realizing as I'm saying it, yeah, fuck, this is pretty bad. Just by telling him what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So like if people are self-aware enough, them just saying it out loud will often have them realize, oh yeah, this is a problem.
Yeah, that makes sense. And like when they give, because a lot of the time when they give me, when I say like, what are you currently doing? When they
Yeah.
give me an answer, it's always just like, okay, that makes sense. And then you next question, because sometimes I feel like I'm ending up them like trying to question about it, like, oh, is that wrong, or like blah blah blah. Like it's just like,
Sorry,
okay.
say that again. Say that again.
So if you be like, oh, okay, that's interesting, like you're moving on, like it's next question. It's not like, because sometimes I feel like they almost want
Only
to.
if you feel like it's so obvious. If you feel like it would be ridiculously obvious for you to ask that question, do you feel like you need to make some changes? Then just move on.
Yeah.
But it's only if you feel like it's ridiculously obvious.
Reason.
Yeah, so like the attraction phase, really actually growing
Absolutely.
that personal brand.
Yeah, exactly.
And what were you charging those 11 online clients again? It was $80 a week?
$80 a week, yeah.
Yeah. And some of them were hybrid, right?
Yeah, the only ones that are hybrid are the ones that are actually at the gym I train at, and they do like a package deal of a PT and online.
Okay, that makes sense. And in terms of like just an overall, I guess, amount that you're making per week with both combined, what does that look like for you at the moment? Just to see what that looks like.
I don't know, 1 second, I've got it all on the sheets.
Yeah, totally cool.
Yeah, so biggest thing right now is we still don't know why. Like, we know that he wants to make more money. That's probably why he wants to transition online, but he hasn't said that. So that's just us assuming. So we need to get him to say out loud like why he actually wants to go online.
And probably gonna have to look at the framework, because it's still like it was less people I've spoken to, they're in that position where they've already got a fair few online clients. That's
Yeah.
when you address
Oh,
that.
wait, he's already online.
Yeah, he's got like 9 online clients.
He's got 9 online clients.
He's just not making.
Oh.
He's charging them like $80 a week each, so he's making like, I think it was like $1,000 a month online. So he's still doing mainly in person.
Why he wants to go fully online rather than always doing a split. Still get him to say it.
And do you reckon I should ask that before I get into his current strategy? It's like, what is he looking to do this full
Yes.
time? Okay, cool. That makes sense. That's where I get confused.
Why?
I've just spoken to less people like this, because on this framework, instead of saying what has you want to go online rather than keep doing what you're doing, on the other side, it just has what are you currently doing?
Yeah, okay, I see. That's why, like, don't get too attached to the script, bro. Like, the script is just kind of there as a framework. But,
Yeah.
like, no matter what you're selling, no matter what industry you're in, you always want to find out why someone wants to do something. Because one, you're just genuinely curious, but two, it's just good information to have. And
Yeah.
and it gets them telling you about the problem more.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, bro. I think that's it. I'm just definitely not as good at, like, I can have that conversation easily, but I'm like, I just want to make sure that I'm being efficient and that I'm not going too much into a typical 9 to 5 problem compared to his actual problem, which is scaling the
Yeah,
business.
no, it can just be very brief. It can just be, oh, okay, cool. And everyone has their own reasons, but how come you actually want to go like fully online? Because I speak to some coaches, they just always want to have a split. Like
Yeah.
that's not weird. It's not over curious. It's not like you're not going to get pushback if you ask it like that. I don't think.
Yeah, that's kind of what I usually say. And then something like after I find out why they're going to go online and maybe clarify it, then I'll go into like what they're actually doing. Because if they've got some online clients but they don't have all, you still want to dig into their strategy and find out like why it's not working to like the full extent it could. That's what
Yeah.
I kind of go like why they want to do it and then like dig into their strategy and see like what exactly they're doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
You're right, man. Doesn't have to be an exact dollar or cents either, just kind of a rough idea.
It's about, after tax, it's about 1,600.
Okay.
I think roughly. Oh, that's not just from the online though. Sorry, are you talking about the online?
No, that's totally cool. And what do you feel as though it is from the online as well?
So from the online, I think it's. I got it here. So from the online, I'm making about 900 a week.
Okay, cool.
Right.
And what would you like to be making that allows you to know that everything's working out, you're on track, everything's in the right direction?
Ideally, I'd like to maybe boost it up to like, I don't know, really. I don't really have like a goal. I just want to keep going better and better and better. That makes sense. Like always just trying to do more, like from what I can handle, just keep doing more. But just from online, a week or like a month.
Yeah, either, man.
I would like to try and get it to like, I reckon a good, maybe anywhere between 1,200 to 1,500 would be cool. Would be good.
Okay.
Just
I mean, it's only like $300 different, man.
yeah. But that's just like, obviously the next, like that's the first goal. And then once I hit that one, then I'll hit the next one and then the next one.
Yeah.
Right
makes sense.
now, like maybe if I could make like 1,200 just online, that's I feel like a realistic goal that I can hit. Like,
Yeah,
within
yeah.
the next couple of months. So,
Like that's incredibly realistic. Like you're looking at essentially one extra client. Like for you, because I know 300 to 600 bucks a week extra. Like what's really driving you to, I guess, want to make a change, man? It sounds like things are going fairly well for you.
No.
just like I said, just always wanted to be better. I don't want to ever be okay with what I'm getting. I just want to get more and more and more.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can, too, life is expensive as hell. So,
Yeah.
just being able to get more money, I guess that's the main
Yeah,
thing.
for sure, man. Is 1,600 bucks a week at the moment? Is that enough for you? Like, is that comfortable, or do you feel
It's,
is that
like,
expensive?
like I said, it's comfortable, but I 100% want to get more. Like,
Okay.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, yeah.
You can come back to this later. I think what you're doing is fine, but anything more, I don't know if you keep probing or not. You probably move on, which is good. Because anything more, 5 minutes in, you're going to piss him off.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, you can always come back to this later, even if you don't
Yeah.
get it.
I think it was the main thing I wasn't happy with was him saying I want 1,200 to 15. I'm like, mate, you can do that on your own. Like you're doing 900 bucks a week now. So I wasn't happy with that. So I guess we could go back to it.
Easiest way is go, okay, yeah, so that's the initial goal. What's the 12-month goal?
Yeah, nice. That's a fucking could have been an easier way to say it.
Quickest way to do it. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So 1,200 a week, that's like the initial goal. Okay, and what's like the long term, like 12-month goal?
Nice. Yeah, fuck. I don't know why I didn't just ask that. That's helpful.
Because then if they're like, oh no, that is the 12-month goal, you're like, right, so in the next 12 months, you only want to make an extra 300 bucks a week. Like, but they won't do that.
Yeah, nah.
Doesn't sound like
Going to be higher.
cool.
So-
For sure, man. And in terms of like looking at getting outside help, I may have asked you this yesterday, but I'm a firm believer that everyone can do this on their own. Like when it comes to building a brand, learning the skills so that you can actually, build a brand, right? Why do you feel as though you are potentially looking for outside help with this rather than, I guess, figuring it out on your own?
Pretty much, yeah. So, there's people that are probably worse than I am. There's people that are better than I am. I want to learn from the people that have been doing this for a long time. Those people that are doing 10K months, no problem. Like the real goal that I'm trying to hit is being able to sort of go on autopilot mode from building my brand and having people coming to me instead of sales calls and reaching out to people. From people just seeing my social media, seeing the results I'm doing, seeing me as a person. And I know that those people that are hitting, like a lot of mentors and good coaches, that's what they're at. Like that's what they're doing, and that's where I want to be at.
Yeah, cool, man. And I know you said sales calls. Like the way it typically works with us is obviously you want the leads to come through. We'd love for you to be taking sales calls, especially if we start like having higher offers, higher package prices, so that you can have a bigger impact on those clients. How do you feel with the sales calls? Are you comfortable with that? Do you feel as though there might be some room for improvement there, or how do you feel?
Like I said again, like I feel okay doing them, but obviously I know there's a better way to do it. Like I don't
The
feel
only
like
reason I asked that
struggling
is because he gave me a weird answer. It was like I kind of want to have people coming to me. It sounded like he didn't want to do sales calls, and so that's the only reason why I asked that.
I think you should have just probed on what he said.
Yeah.
Instead of asking that question, just been like, you could be like, what do you mean? And he's like, oh, I just would rather people reach out to me. And you'd be like, oh, why is that? Like you can ask dumb questions. Like, how come? Just say it casually. Oh, okay, how come? And then it'll be like, well, because like he'll either be like, I just prefer it that way. I don't feel weird. I don't feel salesy or whatever. And then you can address that. Or he'll be like, well, because I know for me to scale and ultimately keep growing it, I'll eventually need to get off the phones myself or something like that.
Good point.
Get clients. That's not an issue. Like, sorry, it is, but no, like it's okay. But again, like I know there's better ways than what I'm doing. I just don't.
Yeah. No, it's totally cool, man. How long have you you've plateaued for now? How long has it been around that $1,600 a week for? Would you say?
Maybe like.
I'd also find out, if you don't know already, when he said, it could always be better, because people have done it. Right there, I'd be like, okay, and have you ever worked with a mentor before? Because if he hasn't, then right there, I'm gonna be like, oh right, okay. So what's preventing you from getting a mentor in the past, like with that mindset? Because the mindset you have is great. Like kudos to you for having that. A lot of people don't. But what's preventing you in the past from working with a mentor then? Or he'll be like, yes, and then you can address that. And then you're gonna get all of the answers that you would have gotten if you asked the next question on the script, which is before you started talking with us, have you looked at getting help? But this is going from like this is going from like a 7.5, like very solid, but this is taking it to like a 9 or a 10, right?
Yeah.
When you can make a conversation that it's not question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, but the whole call, you're just probing on what they say, and that naturally leads you to get the answers that you need. That's when it's fucking God tier, because the whole conversation just flows so naturally. And they're going to be like, oh shit, this guy wasn't following a script. just genuinely listening. So like to them, the impression they get is way better.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've always wondered that because sometimes they do walk into it and I'm like, oh fuck, do I probe here and land the question, or do I stick to what I'm fucking doing and then hit it so I don't make sure I don't miss anything?
Every single time, if you can get an answer through probing on what they say instead of asking a new question, do that. It's always better.
Yeah. Fuck it, let's do it.
Since
That's
the
exciting.
start of maybe like November,
Okay, so only like a couple months.
months, yeah, even maybe just a little bit before.
That's not too bad.
And
Have you
again,
been?
every time I get one, maybe like I haven't necessarily had any drop off, but like some of them are like, okay, just get too expensive. Like, can I cut
Yeah.
down? You're gonna have to cut down. And after I just get my clients, then I'm still in that same spot.
Yeah, okay. So it's like just recycling through clients without an influx actually coming in.
Exactly.
And before our call, have you been out there looking for ways to get help with this, or is this like the first time you've reached
This
out?
is like the first. I've been looking for a while for like obviously I've got like the free stuff that people just like put on through their
Yeah.
stuff like that. But no, this is basically the first. Like I'm wanting to get help from it.
Yeah. Well, what's held you back, if anything, from I guess getting help sooner?
Mainly just the pricing. A lot of them are really expensive, but I feel like I'm in a better position.
A lot of your questions, they're ending on an upward inflection. Like listen. You did in the last question too, but listen to this one specifically.
Like obviously I've got like the free stuff that people just like put on through like their
Yeah.
stuff like that. But no, this is basically the first. Like I'm wanting to get help from it.
Yeah. Well, what's held you back, if anything, from I guess getting help sooner?
Not meant to be curious?
No, it's good to be curious, but I ask it a little bit more with a bit more skepticism.
Okay.
So the way you said it was basically, yeah, so what's held you back from getting help sooner? Whereas the way I would ask it, like that's an exaggerated version, but it's more so, okay, and what held you back from getting help sooner? See how it's like it's a little bit more like to the point. It's not a
Yeah.
brace, not having a go at him, but it's a little bit more skepticism.
No, that's I can tell the difference there. It's like it's almost as if like it's almost like you got your bullshit detector on in some way as well. It's like
Exactly.
what told you from getting help sooner? Like the fuck.
Yeah, you can even squint your eyes. Like, yeah. Because yeah, like genuinely, I am a bit skeptical at the moment. Like he's known that there's better ways to do it, but he hasn't done anything. So I'm genuinely like, okay, what held you back? Like that skepticism.
Mhm.
Mainly just the pricing. A lot of them are really expensive, but I feel like I'm in a better position now. Like for the last couple of months, I've been really good with my money. Like, really pinpointing what I can use it for, spending on stupid shit and saving it.
Oh, there's a lot there. I'm curious to see where you take it.
I think I just
Never really spent
I never really spent it on stupid shit, but like just pinpointing what I can, use this.
splurge and save on.
Yeah, pretty much.
You
Yeah.
really pushed it
Yeah.
before you reached out.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Well, in terms of the timing, because I know that as well as the fact that I know it's stupid shit,
the
but
reason
Christmas
I
coming up.
skipped it was
Yeah.
because when he said the price is in a better position now, so I didn't want to probe on pricing. The stupid shit.
Why not? Why not?
Because I was like, oh, I feel like I don't know, I was kind of happy with it. Like he said, I'm in a better spot now.
No. Did you see the call I had the other day with that Ollie guy?
Nah.
So he said the same thing, and he said, well, I looked at one and it was $5,000, and the other one was $10,000, and ours was 15K, right? Like, yes, it was only 2K to start, but ours is 15, so it's more expensive. So right there, I challenged him on it, and I was like, I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was something along the lines of, if you got the results you're wanting, if you got to X, would that investment be worth it? So I was basically like price objection handling him for the other programs and digging deeper. And then another thing as well that I would have probed on with this guy is when he said he's been good with his money. He just said that it meant saving. So I would have even probed on that. Okay, and when you say you've been good with your money lately, like what did you mean by that? I've just been saving, we haven't been splurging, things like that. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I mean, like, are you open to investing, like to instead of saving all of your money, are you open to investing that into the business so that you can make more money? It might be like, what do you mean? You might have to explain yourself more. See what he says. But if you did have to explain yourself, you could pull out the whiteboard, or I would even just say to him, well, when you save your money, when it sits in the bank, like what does it actually do? And then I'd go through that reframe. I'd really watch that call with Ollie that I did, because both of these reframes, I used it in that call, and you could have applied it right here.
Bro, can you use that?
Can I ask a question? Oh, after you, Luke, you go.
Yeah.
You go first, bro.
I was gonna say, like, after you do those reframes on him, because he still has like made a shift, I guess, recently where he's saving his money to put it towards something potentially. I don't know. Like, could you then transition into like, well, what's actually made you shift? Like, what's got you looking to put your money towards something now? Like, how come you made that shift in your behavior?
Yeah, but I would have done that after I addressed that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like after you go through the reframes and get them like bought into one, not saving, but actually investing, and two, like handling the price as well.
Yes. Because
Usually I hate when they say price or spend because that doesn't
yeah.
mean they're in like an investing mindset either. Like those just two like big alarm bells that go off when I hear that.
hmm
What are they? What words? Price.
When they say like spend, price, cost, price not as much, but cost and spend especially. But when I hear that, I'll try address it sooner because if they're using those words there, then when you put price, like when you put a price in front of them, they're in cost-based thinking or spending, whereas it's actually an investment, right? It's not a cost; it's an investment into them and their business to grow.
Okay.
That's like usually the way I look at it.
Let's say, and he's saved up a bunch of money for a while. That means that for the last however long, he's been in a mindset of saving, not investing. So he might have 50K in the bank, but it's not a matter of what people have. It's a matter of their patterns and their behavior and the way they think, right? So right now, and look, he bought it then. So, he still bought. It's not the deal breaker. But calling this stuff out here is good because he's in the habit of saving right now. Yeah, he's in the habit of saving right now. So we've got to call it out here so we can get him to change the way of thinking, regardless of how much money he has saved up. And yeah, so I would have tackled one when he said they've been too expensive. Like when you say they were too expensive, what do you mean? Like, fuck it, talk about it. You don't have to say the price of our program yet, but you just unpacking his way of thinking.
Yeah.
Like when you say it's expensive, like what do you mean? Oh, they were just outside of the budget, right? How much were you looking at? Oh, they're like, who knows? He might say $1,000. He might say $10,000. Whatever he says, I'd do like a little pre-money objection handling there.
If you got the results, is it worth it?
Yeah, exactly. And then did you feel like those programs would have helped you get the results? You did. Right, okay. So I mean, if the programs helped you get results and it's worth it, like what held you back? And when I did that with the Ollie guy, I'm pretty sure, it might have been the guy I spoke to after, but I'm pretty sure he brought up fear. And I started doing a bit of fear handling. This is all pre-pitch, everything. Because, oh, fuck, man, I really want to pull up that call now, but I'm just conscious of time. I'd rather keep dissecting this. But yeah, please have a look at that call after. I think it'll help a lot.
There's so many expenses. Like, what has you looking to get help with this now? Like, why not kick it for the road another 3, 6 months? Like some people will tend to do.
Well, the reason I kicked off, like, why I just booked the course up, because I just kept in my head, like, how long am I going to say, like, I'll do it next month, I'll do it next month. Like, I'll wait till I get a bit more money, then I'll do it. But like I said, I've been plateaued for a little bit.
Yeah.
When it's going to come on, I'm happy to spend that money now, and then like I'll probably end up making it back.
Yeah.
In a couple months.
And like you just said, how wait a couple months, so people go, why not wait 2 months, 3 months? Like that's what people do. They just say, oh, next month, next month. But no, we were like,
I just got to do it.
Get onto it.
Do it.
Yeah. Otherwise,
I would have done this like I said 3 months ago. Like I've been thinking about it for a while, and I kept doing like, oh, I'll just wait till next month. I'll wait till next month. I just kept pushing back. So
yeah. It sounds like you've had a bit of a shift there. Like what I always try and share the perspective of with people is, if it's a case that we're trying to save money to do something, sometimes if we flip that to, is it going to allow me to start getting paid quicker? So instead of having that saving mindset, it's like an abundance mindset. Like I'm investing in myself to get paid.
So you do address that, but what do you think I'm going to say? Well, not necessarily.
Maybe like the first thing is like, can I share a perspective with on that, or like actually like not say it myself, like get him to buy into it.
That's the main one. Yeah, you're telling him, but
yeah.
when you tell, you can ask questions throughout. So you can be like, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, at the same time, do you mind if I offer another perspective? Yes. I mean, when you save money, like what does your money actually do in the bank? And you just asking that, even if they don't know the answer. In fact, it's better if they don't know the answer. That it's just like it's seeding so much doubt in their way of thinking. Like, oh, what does money do in the bank? And then they're like, I don't know, interest. It goes up 4%. Well, yeah, but do you know what the inflation rate is? No, what is it? 8%. So your money's actually, it's not just sitting there doing nothing. Like it's actually going down by 4% every single year, just sitting there. And that's fucking true, by the way.
Getting to your goal. Like say we were to help you 6 months from now, everything went planned. What would that actually look like for you both, do you feel? Like where do you guys want to be?
My biggest thing is like being able to hit those 10K months.
Okay.
I feel like that's like a very, like, is that what most people come like when they do?
It's often the first goal. It's the first goal, and once you realize like you get in and you see 10K a month, you hit it, and it's like, what's next, right? So it's definitely that first goal, and it's very attainable. So is that kind of like
That's kind of like my tunnel vision goal right now. Like all I want to see is being able to make more. But that in terms of my business, like I said, because I feel like I'm a good personal trainer. Like I've gotten some of my clients like really, really good results, but it's just I don't have no one knows who I am. Like the only people that knows who I am are my mates and the gym I work at.
Small gym.
Like
it's the most common problem that like most folks have when they first reach out, and it all just boils down to like the attraction side of the personal brand, and then from there it's the marketing. It's how we continually build it. Aside from like the business aspect, because I mean obviously everyone has the drive to want more money, right? Like it's a nice thing to have. But for you guys, do you guys live together or do you live separately? What does that look like?
Together, we live together.
Yeah, because I mean like 10K a month, right? Like that in itself, it's a driver. But I guess like what does that 10K a month for you guys to do that I guess isn't available to you at the moment?
Well, a big reason why I also want to do the online and like the 10K months is because probably we're going to start having children soon.
Oh, really?
So being able to have that bit more freedom that I can, help out and then also still work online. Like, I can just be available more. I'll have a bit of that like freedom. Because I still right now have some like pretty good freedom with like the PT and the online. But then if I was able to get more freedom, that'd be good.
Yeah, what would that allow you to do? Because I think that like, that's a common thing as well. It's the freedom aspect. It's instead of being tied in the gym, 20, 30 hours a week. Well, what would that allow you to have more freedom to yourself?
Well, like I said, with helping out with the family, more traveling, that's good.
Mortgage.
Okay.
For the mortgage.
Because we have a mortgage as well. A bit more traveling, a bit more doing stuff. Really, it's just the main two ones is travel, is again because
for sure, man. Well, it sounds kind of cringe and cliche when I ask, but like I think that clarity's power, and like for you guys, you have a pretty good big why, man. Like you've got future children on the way, you got the mortgage, you've got traveling. How would that make you guys feel? Do you think if you actually were in a position where you were doing things?
That was really solid. First of all, like I'd give that an 8 out of 10. To get it to a 10, when he said the travel, you asked, "Are you guys planning any trips at the moment?" I don't know what he said. I think he said no or maybe something like that. Instead of yes or no basic question, I would have asked, "Oh, where would you want to travel to?" Get him to say a spot, and then she might be like Paris or whatever. Right? And then once they say where they want to go, then you can zoom in on that moment. So you wrap it all up in a bow, and then you focus on that moment, and then you'd be like, so like actually being able to have the financial freedom to pay off the mortgage easily, spend time with your kids, and actually book that flight to Paris, ... like ... How would that actually ... feel to be able to do that? And you do that smile that you did there, like, bro.
That's cherry on top.
Yeah. That takes it from an 8 to a 10.
That's the next level. I've still got to get better at tying in everything they say into the how'd that feel question. Like I'd sometimes I would fucking make sure I dial that in.
Wrap it all up. Because you wrap it all up, that's one thing, but then you wrap that up and you put it into a moment and you get them to picture themselves in that moment, booking that flight, taking that trip, doing the XYZ. Like when they can start to see them in there, then the emotion is naturally going to come. There's a guy called Dr. Joe Dispenza. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
No, I've heard of him.
Yeah, super smart guy. I read this book. What was it called? It was like Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Really good book. And it was basically just talking about like the science of basically manifestation, but the science of it all and how it's actually like real shit. And the studies that he referred to were studies that showed our brain doesn't know the difference between real life and imagination. Like in the sense that the emotions that we feel, even if we actually do something, like compared to us imagining it and feeling the emotion, our brain doesn't know the difference. If you can get people imagining themselves, future pacing themselves in that position, they're naturally going to have the feelings and emotions associated with that thing, with that moment.
Yeah, it's sick. It's fucking cool. I've just written that down. I've got this iPad. It's my note taking thing now. Or Anton, you could when you get one day, you can take notes. It's fucking good.
I'll just write on this napkin, bro. It's all good.
When you get one day.
Fuck.
Fucking faggot.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. Yeah. And then like
we're not ones to settle too. Like we would.
That's what I mean. Like once I've done 10K,
one day I will.
That's the part where I can keep going.
I like the language. When I get one, it's not an if, it's a win.
Yeah.
You've got a top of the mountain, which is that 10K, and I know you're not willing to settle for that. I sometimes find it helpful to ask, like, I guess what the flip side of the coin looks like.
Get rid of that. I sometimes find it helpful to ask. Like, get rid of it. Just ask the question.
Yeah. I think it's because, I fucking 100% agree with you. It's just pure
fluff.
Yeah, it's just fluff.
And it's almost as if you look at the cost of inaction. Because you mentioned it's been a few months, and I know you said now's a really good time for you to want to do this, but say you were to just throw this off in 2, 3, 4, 6 months down the line and you hadn't done this, what effect do you think that would have on you guys? If, say you were making $1,600 a week still, what year's time from there?
Well, I just, if I wasn't, as in like, how would I feel if I was still making that in 6 months' time?
Yeah, and it's not even like how you'd feel. It's more like what would that actually look like for you guys compared to what it would look like at 10K a month?
It wouldn't really, compared to 1,600, I feel like the only thing that would change is that I'd still be okay with it, obviously.
You'd feel stuck.
But I'd feel stuck. I'd feel like I'm wasting my time. I feel like, let's just say I said no to this compared to like 6 months down the track. I feel like I just wasted the last 6 months because I'm just wasting my time compared to every week it's going on up and up and up. I'm not going to lie as well, since like having that 1,600 for a couple of months, I've kind of lost a little bit of motivation. I'm like stressing out about like not knowing what to do, failing, and all this. But then like, if I do go ahead with this and then every week it's just going more and more and more, that's what gives me the drive to just keep on going and going and going.
Yeah. Did you say fear of failing?
Yeah.
Can I ask, man? Like, I love when people say that. It's like, what's the alternative in your mind? From fear of failing. Like, what's the alternative if you don't put yourself out there?
All right, I really like it.
Yeah,
But
I fucked up the way I asked it.
Nah, just before you attack it, just like get him to open up a bit more. Because when you hear fear of failure, it means something in your mind, and you're attacking well, not attacking, but you're unpeeling the layers back of what you imagine fear of failure to be. But what he imagines fear of failure to be could be completely different. Him to tell you what fear of failure means, like what do you mean when you say fear of failure to him, and then you can address it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So like one more probe, because like instead of just it's like instead of assuming I know exactly what they mean because I've heard it 100 times, it's like
Yeah.
his version of it's going to be different to what I think. So what do you mean by that? And then go into it.
Exactly. Like I might be like, yeah, I fucking hate the taste of fruit, and you're like, what do you mean? Fruit's amazing. But when I say fruit, I'm actually just referring to fucking papaya, and you're thinking of strawberries. Like we're referring to different types of fruit.
Yeah.
So not the best analogy, but yeah.
No, it landed, bro. Don't worry.
Because I think like that in itself is such a strong thing, and it's what holds so many people back. It's the fear of once they do put themselves out, they start learning the skills, it's not going to pay off.
Yeah.
It's like there's always going to be a fear of the unknown, right? Like there's no guarantee that what we do here is going to 100% get you to 10K a month in 3 months' time.
Yeah.
The only thing you can do is put yourself in the best position possible to get to 10K a month. So for you, man, it sounds like you're not willing to settle for where you're at the moment. Like I can tell that. Yeah. Well, I definitely feel like we can help you. Where we're starting now is.
Yeah. Did you get the answer you want from consequence phase?
No, not really. I got like half the answer. I needed to
think you
probe
got
more.
half, bro. I think you got
Really?
away with that. Like, did he admit to you that 6 to 12 months from now, if he keeps putting it off, things will either stay the same or get worse? Did he admit that?
No. He just said
No.
he feels stuck. And
Yeah.
And he's got a fear of failure. Like it's.
Yeah.
So
I think that's probably the weakest answer you've got throughout the whole call.
Yeah, what would you have said? Would you have got the answer for like what does a fear of failure mean? Shared that, like what's the alternative, and then be like, are you willing to settle for that, or would you have done another probe?
Yeah, I would have probably done that. And I would have also at some point, whether before that or after that, it doesn't really matter. But before I pitched, I would have gotten him to map out 6, 12 months from now if nothing changes.
Like what it
You
would
would
look.
have to re-ask it a different way. Yeah. Like, let's say I unpack fear of failure. I get into what that means. I go, what's the alternative? I reframe him. Sweet, you have to fail. But then it's like, okay, but obviously we don't want to fail. We want to do everything we can to make sure it does work. But let's just say it doesn't, and you kept putting this off, like, because I know that you mentioned earlier, you said you put it off 1 month, you put it off 2 months, you have a smile on your face, you make it comfortable. What happens if you keep doing that for another 6 or 12 months? Like, what does it actually look like? So I would have made sure to get that at some point. Whether you do that before or after, I'm not fussed, but at some point before you pitch, you got to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anton?
I was just going to say an analogy I've now kind of created to actually, it's so much better than the Usain Bolt one when you're not getting anything good in consequence, is doing like a complete like parallel of why they're in the gym in the first place. Like, everyone gets in the gym for a reason, right? They're motivated by being at X physique or feeling this way or having confidence, right? But then everyone's also in the gym to not be someone, right? It's the same with you and your business, right? Yes, I know what's going to motivate you and you plug in their goals, but like, what is it that you're kind of trying to run away from? They'll give you that, and you'll be like, well, what happens if nothing changes? Like, what happens if you don't take the step to actually make that happen?
Yeah.
I found that works pretty good.
Yeah.
Because they can relate to it a lot. This is when it's going really dry and they're not giving you anything. They're like, oh, no, it will happen. Like, that's not part of my vocabulary. Those ones.
Yeah, I fucking hate those ones. I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm like, oh, here we go.
I want you to change your language around that. You don't hate it. Why do you hate it?
Well, I always say it's the way I ask it. Like that, that Aaron Seaton guy. He said a good quote which stuck with me. Is like, there's no such thing as like a bad prospect. It's only like inflexible communicators. And it's like
Yes.
you're the one
Love
who's
that.
asking the questions the wrong way. Like it's your job to be able to like re-ask it. So I always think, how could I re-ask that?
Yeah, that's what
My
I was gonna say. The only reason you hate it is because you don't know how to handle it, or you
Yeah.
haven't proven to yourself multiple times that it's easy to handle.
Yeah.
Like when I get to think about it, like I'm genuinely fucking excited to handle it because I know I'm gonna I know I'm at least they might not buy, but at the very least I'm gonna get over the think about it objection. I at
Mm.
least know that. So I don't even care when people say it because I know the ability. It's the same with that question.
Yeah.
That's the only reason you hate it. Where
Can we do like not today, but can we like do like a brief like 5-10 minute role play on the consequence? Because like for people, when I reckon it's helpful, because a lot of the time I do calls like this where in my head I think I got the answer, but I need to go deeper.
Yeah, we can do it today if you guys have time. I can go past the hour for a little bit. Do you have another call? Yeah, we could do it today once I'm done with this. Did he give you any objections?
No.
Okay, cool. We're pretty much done then.
Yeah.
I'll just. Okay, cool. Why did it also good fucking job for getting to the pitch at minute 16? That's
Bro,
efficiency.
My efficiency's been fucking dialed recently. Like my call's like 30 minutes. I'm like, all right, sick. But then it's like, did I go deep? That's why I wanted to review this. Like, what should I have probed on more? What could I have done differently?
Yeah. Just the things we said. Like if you did that, maybe it gets to 20, 25 minutes. 25 worst case. But yeah, no, that's good though. Yeah, sweet. If you didn't give any objections, then
No,
we
it was
can
just
just roll.
it was so just crunching numbers, and then we made it work.
Thanks for having the self-awareness though to bring that call up because, bro, most closers if they close a deal, they're not going to look back at it and be like, "Oh, I've done better." Like that's fucking sick because we just looked at that and yes, he closed, but look at how many things we
Bro,
heard.
I got like 7 dot points for next time.
Yeah. Cool. All right, let's role play consequence. Do you want to sell and you just practice it, or do you want to be like a difficult prospect and I practice it?
Yeah. Can I just be more of a difficult prospect?
Yeah. Yeah, no stress. Awesome. So Luke, like I'm not saying this will happen because obviously you're a motivated person, like you're on the call for a reason, you want to make a change. But let's just say you kept putting this off, like you did before for another 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. Like what does that actually look like?
What do you mean? Like if I didn't do it, like if I didn't get the help.
Yeah, like you mentioned that you've been putting it off a little bit, right? And that, last month you put it off and the month before you put it off. Like what happens if that continues and you kept putting it off for another 3 months or 6 months or 12 months? Like what would that actually look like?
Yeah, like I'm not actually. I just don't want to think. I don't usually think like that. I don't want to think like that because I have put it off. So like I'm not gonna let it happen this time. I'm ready to get to work.
Yeah, I hear that, man. I mean, do you mind if I offer another perspective though?
Yeah.
It's like I always got taught, like if we can't accept failure, we can't accept success. Because
yeah.
at the end of the day, right, like Usain Bolt, he wants to, win the race to get X, Y, Z. Like he has all these positive reasons. But I guarantee you, I read his book. I haven't, by the way, but I read his book and he had a strong why that was motivating him. And it wasn't just positive based. It was also negative based. It was what would happen if he didn't achieve his goals, the disappointment he'd have in his potential, the failure, all that sort of stuff. And he got super clear on it. It's the same idea as heaven and hell, right? Like, I don't know if you're religious or whatever, it doesn't matter either way. But a lot of Christians, like, or religious people in general, like, yes, they want to live a good life to go to heaven. But some of them, and I speak to some of them, they just really don't want to go to hell. Like, they don't, like, that's a terrible fucking place to be in. I don't know. I just imagine that and go, that would be pretty bad, right? So, like, what's your version of hell, right? Like, what happens if you don't actually achieve that? Because I think it's important to get clear on that.
I'd be so stuck. Like I'd probably just keep doing what I'm doing. Like just training in the gym, like not being able to do the things I want to be doing. Like
Why do you feel like you'd be stuck though? Why do you feel like you wouldn't be able to like progress over those 3, 6, 12 months?
Oh, like I might be able to. Like I'm not saying I wouldn't be able to on my own, but like I just don't feel like I'd be at the level where I could be. Like if I did get the help from you guys. So like yeah, I think I'd just be in a worse off position, just like taking it a lot slower to get there.
Like a worse off position than where you are now, or just a worse off position compared to where you want to be?
I guess from where I want to be.
Right. Okay. Because it's like also another perspective, right? Like you could be in the same spot, and yes, it doesn't necessarily go down, but what have you lost?
Hang on,
You've
sorry, can
lost
you repeat that?
months, lost 12 months of your time.
Mm.
So even if you stayed at that 1600 a week, right, you don't earn less money, you lose the time.
Mm.
So for you, like I know you touched on it before, but a lot of people would settle at 6 grand a month. You know, you're not doing terribly. Like you've got a house, you're not on the streets, nothing like that. Like, why not just settle for that? Like, why actually make a change now?
I don't know, just because I always know there's more. Like there's a new level to me. Like what I spoke about, I don't want to just stay the same. I've always wanted to keep growing. So like I'm not willing to just be in the same spot for the next 10, 20 years. It's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, we can look at it 10, 20 years, but it all starts today, right? Just like going to the gym. Like it doesn't start on a Monday or next week or next year. It starts the day you decide you want to make a change. So do you feel like you're ready to actually draw that line in the sand and actually make that change? Because, you know, I know you said you put it off a bit before this.
Yeah, no, I do.
You sure you're not just being polite?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Nice. That was good. So I like how you asked that. It's like you can't accept failure without accepting success. You can't accept success without accepting failure.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
If we can't accept failure, we can't accept success. And
Yeah.
you could just frame it. Yeah, I mean, like you asked if they're open to a different perspective. Yes, they are. Awesome. A quote that really stuck with me from one of my mentors that helped me a lot is if we can't accept failure, we can't accept success. And what he meant by that is, yes, we have all these positive reasons that we want to achieve the goal. That's our heaven. But to really make change, a lot of the times it comes from actually mapping out the hell. Like changes. A lot of people that are overweight, they don't make a change until maybe they've spoken to a doctor or they had a chat with their partner or their partner wants to get a divorce. It takes something bad a lot of the time to happen before they actually make a change. Now, obviously, it's ideal if we do it before that happens, right? But in the meantime, what we can do is picture if that did happen, if that negative did happen, what does that look like? So many ways you can go about it. I probably rambled a bit, went a bit off, got a bit excited when I went on the heaven and hell spiel, but you know, there's so many different ways you can look at it.
Yeah, cool. Nah, I think like I feel like I can have that conversation because I do it a lot myself. So I know like it's about my delivery, like making sure I can probe and make sure I get the fucking answer without settling for something that's not spot on. Because it's so close to the pitch. I get excited. I'm like, yeah, it's been a good call. I'm ready to go through the pitch and close him, and it's like, no, just fucking settle down.
He was like he was begging for the pitch, but you want him to be like frothing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I fucking need this. Like when I bought this morning, before he mentioned price or anything, I was frothing. I was like, oh, give it to me. Show me what you do, please, please. I need it. Like that's what I want.